Myself, I am Jakub Staszak. I am the CEO of Immod Innovations. It's a new company with one purpose, which is distribution of dietary supplements. And the main reason for it is that we came across a pretty amazing supplement called CellBB, Cell Boost and Balance, that we have founded based on a research that we have done together with Chris Johnson, sitting right next to me, at Macaver Pharmaceuticals. We have made some amazing discoveries there. Chris has 30 years of experience with phospholipids, doing research on them at National Jewish Health, University of Colorado, and Macaver Pharmaceuticals. And I'm excited to have him here. He's also founder of Immod Innovation. And Chris, can you tell us more about CellBB?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Jacob. And yeah, we're excited to bring CellBB. Here's our packaging, bring it to the US. So additionally, what Jacob mentioned is it's based on a supplement from Europe, Ovicin, that's been around for 25 plus years and has done very well there and helped a lot of people. And so we kind of brought that here, and at Macaver Pharmaceuticals, we were studying the chemical properties of that Ovicin and made some great discoveries there.
Well, thank you very much for the introduction. So can you tell us a little more about CellBB? What is it about? I assume it's based on phospholipids, right? Because you're an expert on it.
Correct, yeah. That's what was so exciting for me, is to find a supplement that was based on phospholipids, since I have so much experience and understand that phospholipids are critical in all cellular functions. I mean, in fact, it's the membrane of the cell, so not much can happen in a cell without phospholipids. So
great. Okay, so phospholipids. So are these phospholipids coming from an egg, right?
Correct.
So what is it? I mean, how does it compare to, let's say, an egg? I mean, what if I just eat an egg every day?
Sure.
Why would I need CellBB? What is the difference?
A couple things. CellBB has taken what we like to refer to as the bioactive phospholipids in the egg. So it was originally based on a discovery made in fertilized eggs. When they extracted those phospholipids, isolated them, looked at what was different between fertilized eggs and unfertilized eggs, and decided or discovered that there was a change in the composition. And CellBB has taken those ones that seemed to be the most changed in the fertilized egg, isolated those, and tested these out kind of individually as these different possible mixtures to see what was the most potent for mediating these healthful benefits. And that's kind of the basis of CellBB.
Okay, great. So what are the main key differences compared to just phospholipids from egg? Because I know that in the research we have been trying and comparing phospholipids that were not really modified according to the fertilized egg, and there were marked differences. So
yeah,
can
absolutely.
you just maybe elaborate on that some more?
Yeah, I guess, like I said, there's two primary differences. Is that the concentration of certain components is very different, and we've selected out these very active ones. And again, it's a nice mixture, but not as the same mixture as in a full egg. There's ways too many there. And the second part that's different is that they've been put into a liposomal form. So we've pulled out the most active phospholipids, put them into liposomes, which allows you to eat them, have them go to survive your digestive tract, and get delivered to your cells, plasma, tissues, whatever. We can, we did experiments at Macaver looking at the delivery of these liposomes. Saw, I could see that they were, present in all the different tissues: brain, heart, lung, and in the blood cells, etc. So we know they're taken up and that the cells are utilizing them.
And so these phospholipids are more than just being part of the cellular membranes, I guess. Are they?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of phospholipids. Most people understand that they're part of the membrane of a cell, but additionally, you have enzymes that take them apart, grab a fatty acid, modify it, and those become mediators.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's from the fatty acid or the glycerol backbone, there's lots of different mediators. Even in the head group, those are ones that are important in the brain, the cholines, etc. And all those are coming from these phosphatidylcholine molecules.
Okay, perfect. So Can they then be used in, let's say, cellular repair as well? Because I came across the very interesting article that has reported, it was earlier this year, so it's fairly recent. I'm sure you know the work. It reported that the damage of cellular membranes actually directly leads to aging. And if you don't stop the cellular damage very quickly, the aging accelerates and goes on. So is it possible that this product can maybe stop or prevent this somehow?
Yeah, I think it's an absolutely reasonable thing to believe is this going to stop, because there's been other papers that also looked at longevity in cells and membrane damage and showed that they could supplement with phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylethanolamines, for instance, different phospholipids, and saw that those membranes were repaired and that their lifespan was restored. And the opposite side of that is when they, depleted them of these phospholipids, they saw damage that shortened life of the cells. And that's kind of the paper you're talking about, is they found that these membranes became leaky, calcium was leaking out, that or in, the big calcium influx, and the cells just lost their ability to function, became senescent, zombie-like cells.
Great. So you could basically reseal if anything damage happens due to environmental factors like the chemical exposure to chemicals, chemotherapies, all these modern things that we are exposed to every day. You could, those obviously cause the cellular damage, but this could help to reseal it.
Yeah, absolutely. That one paper clearly showed that they did tests with oxidative damage and other chemical damage, and in fact demonstrated that supplementing with phospholipids did heal the cells, restore their health. And that's what we think is going on with CellBB. We call it immune equilibrium, and we say it's cell boost and balance. So it boosts cellular repair, boosts the immune system, and also balances out kind of immune function. So
exciting.
Exciting.
So then I have one more question. So it's, everyone knows about fatty acids, right?
Yeah.
Like omega-3 fatty acids all over the place. People use it a lot to minimize the risk of some cardiovascular problems and so on. But I was always wondering, what is best? So people are talking about saturated, unsaturated acid, and so which is better? And how does this compare to these phospholipids?
Yeah. Well, it turns out with fatty acids, it's all about the mixture. You need one of them, no matter how great it is. If it's the only thing you're getting, you're not going to do well. So you need that mixture. And again, fatty acids are delivered differently through your metabolic processes, whatever, than our phospholipids. The phospholipids, particularly in that liposomal form we have them in, gets delivered to your cell, and then your cell can use the intact molecule. It can take it apart, gets the fatty acids individually. So this has there's some omega-3s, there's saturated, there's unsaturated, polyunsaturated, monounsaturated. It's a mixture, and we feel like that's the most effective part of it. Is again, we kind of copied it from that embryonic lipid matrix, sort of the origin of life, that where everything is contained in that egg that you need to develop a fully living organism, and we isolated what we feel are the critical components, and then put them in this package, in this liposome, and get delivered to your cells. So we feel like that's where it's at.
So you don't think it's about saturated, unsaturated, but it's about the balance between all the
correct.
Cell
just needing that necessary mixture with all those critical components.
Perfect. Okay. And now, I was probably the most excited, and obviously this is something that we have found at Makabert, right? So we have discovered this phospholipid that activates immune system. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We found that some of the components in here, when we isolated them, we used them at Makabert and found that it activated the NK cells, the natural killer cells, which is sort of your first line of defense in the immune system. When you get that initial insult or injury, those are the cells that come out and do the first thing, and then they also recruit other cells using those mediators and stuff. So we thought that was an amazing discovery, because we saw it both activated the NK cells, but it also helps them regulate that secondary adaptive part of the immune system, so you don't get that overreaction. Okay, so it's an autoimmune disease.
So it is immune modulator in a
Correct.
way that
Yeah.
you're.
Yeah. Stimulator and modulator.
Right.
Boost and balance.
Okay, great, perfect. So there's everything in it. Matrix of life. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Chris. This was very informative. We'll come back later with more information. So stay tuned, and thank you very much for your attention.
All right.
Thank you.